and now go into 10.1. So thank you
Or
for
10.2.
Oh yeah, 10.2. That was 10.1. Now we're 10.2. This is why I have you around, Ben, to constantly correct
Small
me.
corrections.
So in the first half of today, we are focusing on our demon character, who is interestingly, our other protagonist of our story. She is a very deep character. So we've been just trying to delve into really asking the question at the start, which is, what does it mean in our lore, in this world, to be a demon? Ultimately, where we are at the moment is that they are creatures who are here to create suffering, but for a purpose. The purpose is so that at some point the perfect vessel will be born to house Lucifer's immortal soul, and that this is all part of a bigger plan to bring their Dark Master to Earth. And so what is going to obviously be very shocking for our demon character is to suddenly go, oh, hang on a minute, the person who I'm going to be charged with quote unquote helping is the character, the person who when I was a full, card carrying demon, was trying to create and make.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, and that, I think, so leaving that on the table for right now, even though it's somewhat broad, I actually think it's just enough
It's
specificity
specific
for
enough.
past demon lore to then ask the next big question, which I asked already, but I'll ask it again.
Mhm.
What happened
Yeah.
100 years ago where Charlize said, I don't want this anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Why did she change her mind?
It's a great question. And ultimately, as well, is yes, while I think there was one singular thing that happened that pushed her over the edge, there were a series of events leading up to it. Now, what I haven't got an answer to is why this demon developed a conscience. I haven't got an answer to that
So
question.
here's I guess my follow-up question to that is, could we not create a version of demons that, while possibly shape-shifting monstrous entities from the underworld, they do have an element of consciousness or moral compass that they again choose, right?
Yeah.
Conscience.
Yes. Yeah.
That whereby they're not that different from humans, and the reason I'm going there is because ultimately where we said Charlize is going to go is to realize that, yeah, she's a demon, and she can choose to be a good demon and not a bad demon, and that while maybe she was raised in the underworld with other demons and believed that her purpose in existence, like all the other demons, was to bring evil and darkness to the world, that actually demons are capable of being good. Had Sauron not been the person in charge of the orcs, maybe the orcs would have been like elves. Like, is there,
isn't it? Which, it goes to that concept again of Lucifer, is that Lucifer was God's favorite angel. He was his favorite. He was the one he left in charge when he went away for 2 weeks to Hawaii. He was the one who was like, look after it. Don't sit in my chair. But you're my favorite. And then this angel developed bitterness and hatred and jealousy. And when I'm going to take over, I'm better.
And there is an aspect of going, well, and it kind of hits at a bit of a human idea and a human theme of this nature versus nurture, which we've dealt with in a few other projects in our time. And if you're born in the underworld and everyone around you teaches you from your earliest years that humans are bad, we hate them because they get all this wonderful stuff and we get none of it, but one day we're going to bring forth the Antichrist, and then the surface of Earth is going to be ours, and fuck the humans. And if you're raised to believe that, well, there's no reason to believe anything else. And you would be raised to be a monster.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it kind of hits at this other aspect as well about religion in one sense. And I don't think we should be in any way overt about it. But
No.
if you were born in ancient Greece, you believed in Zeus because
Right.
that's what you believed. And if you were born in medieval Europe, you believed in God.
Mhm.
Because that's what the culture was at the time. If you were
Yeah.
born in America in the 1300s and you're a Native American, you had a whole set of other beliefs. Like you are raised with the beliefs that you are raised with,
Mhm.
you know, and I think that was the case with her. Again, I don't imagine that demons go through childhood. I think they're probably just created and then they exist, and kind of like the Uruk-hai. They're like the Uruk-hai in that sense, I
Yeah,
imagine.
I mean the earlier years of her
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's
evolution.
okay. I was
I
just
don't
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I agree. I don't think you have, like, down in the underworld, a bunch of kid demons going to demon school.
going to kid,
Um,
going to demon school to learn the
but
ins
if
and
you
outs.
imagine,
Yeah.
and look, you will never see this in the movie, but if you imagine that a demon is potentially hatched out of the earth, out of, fire and brimstone or whatever the
Sure.
fuck it is,
Yeah, yeah.
they probably do start off, they don't just immediately know how to do everything.
Totally. Yeah.
They don't immediately know where they are, what they are, how
Sure.
to behave, how to act. They
Right.
would essentially be raised to a certain
Hmm.
degree to become part of the demon horde, to
Sure.
become part of this empire in the underworld. And
Sure.
so I I think what's interesting about Charlize is something should have happened to Charlize, and maybe it is the ghost, or maybe it is not the ghost, but also kind of related to that. I'm not
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, whereby her moral compass didn't fully swing in the other direction,
No.
but it got fucked with.
Yes. Sure.
All of a
She
sudden,
saw
she went,
something. She experienced something. Was just like,
I
oh
don't
fuck.
know that everything I've been taught my entire life is necessarily true.
Right.
I don't know if being a demon is necessarily better than being human.
But I
In
didn't
fact,
try and. But I didn't try and stop the demons from doing what they were doing. I just went, I'm out.
something like that.
Yeah. Something like
Now,
that.
there would have to be a pretty strong push for her to leave, and for her
There
to
would.
escape, and for her to go into this,
Was it
you
some
know
kind of like, where my mind is going, and it's probably cliched, so forgive me. But like, they were gonna kill all the women and children in this town because they were trying to make the chieftain of the town go bad and sink into despair and sorrow for some reason. And
sure.
she was like, I can't fucking kill a town of women and kids. I'm not going to do that. But something along those lines. She didn't stop the demons from doing it. It still happened, but she was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do
I
this
think
anymore.
they just go, and this is, look, here's the other thing. Maybe nobody's fucking asking these questions, but I'm asking
Totally.
them right now.
Yeah.
And so I go, what made that? Because I don't believe that this demon, who is part of the demon horde, who went out into the world to, whether it was possess a child or murder a entire
Granny, murder a
family,
blind granny. Yeah.
yeah, be crazy granny or whatever it is, like blow up a building, whatever it might be. I just don't believe that if she was truly part of this group, why does she all of a sudden go, oh no, I can't kill those people?
Again, I don't
Why?
think it was all of a sudden. I think like we're talking about with Sam in this movie, what were the degrees whereby that happened? You know, oh, I started to have a niggling in my stomach that just something didn't feel right, but I just went along with it
Mhm.
because that was it. But then slowly,
Right.
as the centuries passed, I just began to go, this isn't right. There's got to be more to existence than this. This doesn't fulfill me in any way. And on the day she was asked to, wipe out a Romanian orphanage, she went, you know what? I'm not doing it. Do what you got to do, but I'm out. Something like that. That's my instinct.
Okay,
I'm
so
going to pause
if
for a second.
she's
I've got a really dry mouth and my water bottle is empty. So I'm just going to pause for a moment. I'll stop my cam and mute myself. So Ben, just riff for like 30 seconds.
I'm gonna just riff for 30 seconds. All right. Well, this is really interesting. Um, gosh, this is what it must feel like actually to be a solo writer, where you just sit here and kind of go, I wonder what I should write about today. It was interesting. We were just having we were on a podcast, a wonderful podcast, and we were just talking about the difference between solo writers and partnerships, and how I was literally saying, like, I don't know how I would do it.
Yeah.
And there you just got a taste of it. Me sitting there going,
It's going, oh, what the fuck is this? I don't know. Here's what we should have done during that time. We should have, thank you. We should have asked our viewers to just remind them to subscribe to this channel. Again, if you are getting anything out of this, please do. And also, it's the main part of this is so that we can appear on YouTube's, YouTube's algorithm. The more subscribers you have, the more likely you are to appear in searches. So please just go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well. Give the video a like, and so that this can get out to as many people as possible.
So back to demon mythology. I'm wondering if, okay, I like this idea. I'm having a thought here.
Okay.
What if there's a concept that we create whereby this is not necessarily the first time this has happened. This is not the only person that's ever, the only demon that's ever gone astray. But that when demons start to show signs of morality, they're killed.
That's interesting.
So no matter what Lucifer and the underworld has done, creating these creatures, there's this overriding nature to the universe that starts to slowly, for some, eat away at them, and then all of a sudden start to show a little rebellion, a little independence, a little we're not necessarily part of the pack, a little are we sure this is the right thing? Maybe we don't want this. And every time that's ever happened, the powers that be, the great evil ones that are in charge, and maybe, interestingly enough, these are fallen celestials that are really the rule, not Lucifer, but like 4 other like fallen celestials or some shit like that.
Pestilence, plague, war, and death. Yeah.
But maybe it's we thin the pack.
Yeah.
And that also is like, that happens. Like whenever you have someone that's starting to go against the grain, you want to get rid of them so that they don't start to spread, right?
And that's why she's in hiding.
Correct. She knew somebody saw her, and she knew, she's been around long enough, that if somebody saw her do what she did, which was save a life or stop a murder, that would get reported back to the bosses and she'd be killed.
Right.
But she's evolved just enough, even more, to go, I don't want to die. I actually want something for me, which is not the way of the demon.
Right.
Which is, the demons are supposed to want for the underworld. For the hive, for the pack, for the whatever.
Totally.
All of a sudden she goes, I want more.
I want something different. Yeah. I stepped away from that.
There's someone, so we get this moment. I don't know if it's in flashback or prologue, or maybe it never fucking happens.
Maybe it never happens. Maybe it's one line.
There's a demon who sees her and she goes, fuck, I can't let you live or you're going to report on me. And yet at the same time, if I kill you, they're going to come after me, which gives me the better option. Totally. I'll kill you, and then I'll run.
Absolutely. I like that. I think that's really, and again, whether we see that, whether we hear that in one line, whatever it is. Yeah, completely. Great. Why don't we open up our scratch pad? Let's open up our pad. Let's get some of this down before we instantly forget it, because our brains are just like sieves. And it happens all the time.
Seriously. Right?
And we've got to come back to this on Monday, having been away from it for a couple of days. Also, just to let our viewers know, you may be having a baby any day now, mightn't you?
Yes, I am scheduled. My wife is going to be giving birth to our second daughter, and it may happen any day. So, if at some point during one of these incredible live streams I go, see ya.
Gotta go.
Not probably not because I have to go pee, but rather because I have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, he doesn't need a glass of water. He needs to go and support his wife having a baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, and to be clear, our intention is to continue with this wonderful work,
Yeah.
even through the birth of my new child. Even though I will be doing some paternity time and taking time off from our regular stuff, we're hoping to continue this hour a day and keep pushing this script forward. So we'll see how that goes.
It just keeps Ben fresh. Keeps Ben fresh. Keeps Ben engaged.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we're calling her Charlize.
Yes, but
Okay.
names to it's like the naming of a child in many respects.
And as we've said, we're gonna take her from understanding that she does have the option to be more than a demon.
Yeah.
It's not what you are. It's who you are. And your choices are what determines.
It says your choices that define you.
So what we just said, just to get it down on paper, is that the demons for millennia have been creating pain and suffering in the world in the hopes to bring forth the Antichrist
as potentially a vessel for
potentially a vessel to bring their Dark Lord back, essentially to bring their
to Earth. Yeah, sure.
To Earth. And
it's interesting. The idea of this Dark Master being a fallen celestial means that he could still be bound, or she could still be bound by the rules of celestials, which means you cannot inhabit the mortal plane.
Yeah, if it's magic in that sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it's like if they get brought to Earth, us the underworld could kind of take over.
Completely.
Yeah. Charlize was part of this, right? Was part of this. However, over time, she started to develop a very minor moral compass, as well as the desire for something more. Others in the past have had gone astray like this and started to show independence from the pack. And they have all been killed. You know, it's their way, basically. To thin, to basically wipe out any potential resistance.
Absolutely. I have a question, and it's born out of this thing that we're writing right now, and it's born out of ultimately what we have said she's going to get out of this, which is she is promised by this celestial, by this angel character, that she is going to be granted a soul. What does that mean? Why does she want one?
Good.
She's developed already a moral conscience. She has a natural feeling of right and wrong. We have established that she can be quote unquote killed, but does that death mean you are just bound to hell for eternity? If you're a demon and you're killed, you still live, but you are in some horrible state of existence. But if you have a soul, could you truly die and ascend and have the possibility of ascending to a better place? I don't know.
Yes, maybe. I'm wondering, you know, I'm promising you a soul and the heaven thing. I want to pull back a little bit and go, this idea of what she is and the fact that, you know, demons by their very nature are evil.
Uh-huh.
Just because she started to develop a conscience, when she looks in the mirror, what does she see?
She's like a vampire who doesn't want she's like Angel in Buffy. She has this part of her
That will never go
that
away.
will never go away. Is there a moment where we see that and it comes out?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. You know?
That there is an animal inside. She's a werewolf that can't help but turn
Sure.
into a monster, or a vampire who can't help but be attracted to blood.
Right.
There should be a part of her that, no matter what she does,
Yeah.
death, pain, and suffering will follow her forever. In fact,
It's interesting.
I would say that when she first entered the human world and she first left demonkind, she didn't live in a cabin in the woods.
Sure.
That for the last 100 years, what she has realized to herself
Yeah.
is that she can't get rid of being a demon. That's
Right.
what she believes.
Sure.
That pain and suffering will always follow her, and that's because she's a demon. What
Mhm.
she doesn't realize is that the human experience isn't just about joy.
Right.
That
Sure.
our pain and suffering is part of what makes us human. And
Yep.
that actually her isolating herself was never necessary. And
Yeah.
that she could have chosen to, yes, she is a demon, but she could still contribute to the world.
Mhm.
She could
Mhm.
still do things and make the best choices that she can make to
Completely.
try and counter the fact that maybe she's done bad things in the past or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Mhm.
So, is there this sense for her that it's not about being granted a soul, but it's about being human?
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
I
I
want
will be able to lose that part of myself that I lose control over. I will Bruce Banner becomes just Bruce Banner once more.
Mhm.
You know?
And maybe this could stem all the way back to, what does she really, really want? Maybe it's love. I mean, I'm
Mm,
just like going there for a second. Like,
mm,
maybe whatever this moment was that she saw that made her turn was
yeah.
the purest form of love. It was a mother and
That's
daughter
really interesting. I
together.
really like that. I
Like,
really
like,
like that.
and that when she witnessed this love, she was like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that. I want that feeling. That is something that's impossible for me to have.
Yeah.
So she left the demon world and
Uh-huh.
tried to get it, and she couldn't get it. But
Right.
she was going about it the wrong way. She hadn't fully evolved out
Yep.
of being a demon. She was still cold,
Yep.
and she was still potentially mean at times and didn't fully understand things, and was
Mhm.
violent because, like you said, she can't control the fact that she's still
She
half
had this thing
monster.
inside of
Right.
her. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that the promise is the only way she believes, truly believes, that the only way she would ever be able to experience true love is by being a human.
Mhm.
And that is the one thing that she could never, ever have as a demon.
Mhm.
And what she realizes somehow, I don't know how, I don't have all the answers,
It's all right. Don't
but
need to.
somehow through this, she realizes she was wrong.
Yeah, I like that. That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
You know, one day she's on a job and witnesses
Something she's
true
yes, yeah.
human love in the form of a mother willing to sacrifice herself for her
Oh,
child.
that's just what I was thinking too. A mother willing to sacrifice herself for a child.
She realizes that it's that emotion that she wants.
Mhm.
And when she lets them live, another demon sees her.
Yeah.
And so she has a choice. Risk being killed for her going against the norm,
Mhm.
or kill this demon and run.
Now, there's something interesting again about like who this demon is. Is this demon the demon she quote unquote killed and bound to 100 years of non-existence or whatever it was, and now he's back and it's like, oh, of course it's you.
That's interesting.
You know,
So, like,
again, it's that question.
almost like when a demon dies, they go to the phantom zone, basically.
Yeah, totally.
Huh.
Yeah. When a demon, I mean, it's interesting. It's like, what does banishing a demon mean? You know, oh, for X amount years, you're not allowed to come out.
I mean, do we not? I guess the question is, do we not want demons to be able to really die? Like, is that then taking away the stakes of what could even in theory?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. You know, like if I kill you, and whenever I kill you, you're banished for 100 years. I go, yeah, it's like, you're not an immediate threat to me. You're not getting right back up now. For all intents and purposes, for now, you're gone. You know, I just like the idea. I like I mean, ultimately what I'm trying to get at, which is something that we talked about earlier, was can we have somebody from her past who was in her past be the one who is going after her now?
So make it be her best friend or lover. In fact, let it be like her partner or whatever, and she doesn't kill him. She bashes him over the head or whatever it is and runs. And they're still there.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I just don't want to. I want to be clear, like when we kill the vampire, that the vampire's gone forever. You know, like
right.
I want there to feel like we're winning
some kind of finality.
This isn't just going to happen again in 100 years.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, whoever it was, there is someone pursuing her from her past, and whether it's this demon or it's someone who, or it's not. You know.
Stop this demon and run. You know, maybe this demon is her friend / partner, and she doesn't kill them. Now they are the main hunter. They've been like promoted. Who's coming after her? Something along those lines. And then what we were just saying is that over the next 100 years, 100 years, Charlize tried to find love among humans.
Totally.
But she couldn't control that she was still a demon.
Right.
And decided that she would never be able to have this unless she could one day become human.
Yeah, great.
This is the desire
Yep.
that the Celestials take advantage of and promise her.
Yep.
For
yes,
in the beginning.
Yes, great, fantastic.
Okay.
This is really great. I really like where this has gone. It makes her super complex.
Yeah,
it's really interesting, and yet obviously it plays in tropes and ideas that we understand, but seeing them from ways that we never have before.
Totally.
I really like even this concept of the Antichrist being the kind of result of centuries of mistreatment of mankind. You go, oh, okay, I've heard of this concept of this Antichrist figure before, but I never knew that they were all the while trying to make this thing happen, like the quiz that's Haderach in June.
Right. Let's take a quick pause and so that we can cut the episode down again, and we'll go into 10.3.